Our company is Komatsu. My name's Lacey Beasley. I'm the MC. This is James. He's going to be the seller, and Joe is outside. He is our buyer. Komatsu America is the second largest fully integrated manufacturer and supplier of construction equipment in North America. It has a reputation of reliability that's second to none. The company consists of approximately 2,000 employees who manufacture more than 90% of all Komatsu America equipment right here in the United States. The company manufactures and markets a full line of integrated construction equipment from the smallest compact construction size to the largest mining size. This shows how reliable Komatsu is. As you can see, so the yellow is where the headquarters is in Chicago. There's manufacturing plants mostly on the East Coast. Parts can be distributed mostly on the East Coast also, but there's a couple on the West Coast. Training centers, there's one in Georgia, and distribution networks, though, are all over the United States. So it's very fun. It's very easy to find the equipment that you're looking for. The product that we're selling is a skid steer loader, which is a piece of equipment that has a rigid frame. It's with an engine-powered machine, and lift arms that are used to attach a wide variety of labor-saving tools or attachments. Our buyer is from the Atlas Mining Company, which originally was established in 1924 as a natural resource exploration company. It shifted its mining focus to precious metals in 1997, and currently is situated at the Dragon Mine property in Schwab County, Utah. This particular mine is the only known deposit of halloysite clay in North America that's large enough to be mined commercially.
Hi, how you doing? I'm James Hall from Komatsu. I have an appointment with Joe Malcolm at 2:15.
Oh, great. Yeah, he'll be in pretty soon. He would be here on time, so you can go ahead in the office.
Oh, what's your name?
My name's Lacey.
Lacey James.
Oh, James.
Pleasure
Really nice
to
to
meet
meet you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Johnson, before we begin, come on now. Call it in for service and then I'll take care of the rest of this meeting, all right? Thanks.
My name is James Hong with Komatsu.
Yes, nice to meet you there.
I actually spoke to a friend of yours, I believe Rick English. He said that you were in the market for a new skid steer loader.
Oh, yes. How's he doing?
He's doing pretty good. Quite an interesting character, don't you think?
Yes, I would say so myself.
Great guy, great guy.
Oh, actually, so what brings you here then? Actually, sorry. I'm sorry about the distraction here. I got one of my Caterpillars actually breaking down, so
Oh, yeah?
sorry about that.
Oh, really?
Hectic around here.
How long have you been using Caterpillar?
They've been doing pretty well, but for 5 years now, so it's been alright, but I'm kind of looking at all the options right now.
Oh, okay. Have you had it serviced at all or anything like that?
For the most part, they've been servicing our needs pretty well, but in the last year or so, we've been servicing them more often than we'd like than what I expected when I purchased them. So, yeah, we're looking at what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. What type of service did you get to do?
The more basic needs, like getting the gear, unclogging the gears because the dirt is in the business I'm in. It's always, dirt's always flying over there, particulates and all that. But the more technical tasks, like the tracks need to be reset, and that requires the Caterpillar technicians to come in from time to time.
So how long does that usually take them to fix?
Anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, actually.
2 to 4 hours, huh?
Yes.
Oh, wow. And actually, based off my experience, they usually take maybe about an average of about 3 hours.
I would say, yeah, that sounds about good.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And usually, I know they're pretty expensive, about $90 per hour.
Yeah, it really hurts.
Yeah.
They just make that much a day. To make almost as much as I am.
Yeah. That actually brings up an interesting point right here. $90 an hour. Now, let's say, for example, $100 an hour, about a month. Now, maybe about every month you have maybe about, let's just say, maybe 2 machines out of all the machines that you have in your fleet.
Okay.
Maybe 2 need to be repaired.
Okay.
$90
For every 3 hours, right?
yeah, per hour. Be about $540 per month.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, that'd probably be about annual cost. Let's see, 540. Well, about $6,480. Sounds all right?
500, yeah, that sounds, yeah, basically, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Well, it's part of the servicing also having to do with preparation time.
Well, actually, I thought it was required. I mean, I got my guys coming in, spending 30 minutes every day just prepping the machines before they actually start their work.
Okay. How long do they usually take to prep?
About half an hour, I'd say.
Half an
At
hour?
least half an hour every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, would you say it'd be a very good issue to have your preparation time lower down to maybe about 10 minutes?
10 minutes? So you cut my time in a third, what I deal with now?
Yeah. What'd you say
Sounds
about
good.
that?
Let me know that. Tell me more then.
Well, actually, the great thing about Komatsu, as you can see here, this is a lower scale model.
Okay. Very small scale.
Very small. Cute. I mean. What we have actually here is, if you look at the bottom, right around this area right here, right between the wheels.
Okay.
Okay. That's what we call it the enclosed. We have an enclosed self-lubricating system.
Oh wow, what is that exactly then?
Well, a self-lubricating system is actually, Komatsu is actually one of the first companies that ever used this system. Now what that does is that actually has all the chains and all the gears, which you had problems with earlier.
Yes.
Everything's encased, so all the dirt actually can't get in.
Oh really? Because right now my Caterpillars are all exposed to the outside, so that's why we're
I actually noticed that. So what happens is there's a 10W30 oil bath, okay, where the chain and the gears actually run through constantly as you're running and operating your system.
Okay.
Now what that in turn and how that helps you in the end is that you only have to relubricate every 250 hours.
250 hours?
Yeah.
Right now I have my guys doing it every 10 hours.
Every 10 hours, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. So actually prep time actually lowered down to only 10 minutes. Now, in turn, again, how that helps you out is that every half an hour before your workers work, they actually have to spend a half an hour, and you actually paying them a half an hour when they're not even working. They're just getting prepared to work. Okay.
Okay.
Now, for example, we'll say maybe about your workers maybe get paid about $20 an hour.
All right, yeah, good number to go off of.
Okay. $20 per hour, spending about 2.5 hours per week just on preparing their machines so they can begin productivity, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so 2.5. About $45 per worker. Now you have, I know you have a lot more than just 10 workers, but we'll just give you the benefit of the doubt.
All right.
We'll say maybe about 10 workers.
Sure.
10 workers. That's that. About $450 per worker that you have each month or each week. Okay.
Okay.
Now we take that, make that annual cost. That's about $5,400 annual cost on your workers just preparing. You're paying your workers just to prepare to lube up everything and get ready to work. That's counting productivity.
Okay. All right.
So if we lowered that down to only just 10 minutes, can you see how productivity is going to increase?
Basically, so just cut down my current expenses in one third by 2/3.
Pretty much.
So, okay. All right. I like that. I like that.
That's pretty good,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Good. We also have a great issue when it comes to Komatsu. Komatsu, the issue with Komatsu is that a lot of the control systems are all directly in front of the worker. All right, now let me go ahead and show you a picture here. Now you can see a picture right here, as you can see. This is the front of the machine. And now you can notice that all the controls are directly in front of the worker.
All right.
Now, the best thing about that is that any important functions, any important emergency lights are going to be directly underneath the line of sight of where the worker is doing his work on.
Okay, that should be,
Yeah. Okay. Now, we also have another new Caterpillars, the ones we have outside. Now, they have like a little bit of a different system.
all right.
Now, their system is they have a lot of the controls are directly above the right and above the left.
Oh, do you have a good picture actually?
Yeah, sure.
Because Now that you bring it up, I like to see this. Okay, I
You know
see
what I'm
that.
talking about, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that now. Now, yes, it's coming to me. All right.
Now, for example, say you're driving your car down the street. Okay. You notice how all your console, your lights, your speedometer is all directly in front of you.
Sure.
Even the radio and the air conditioning is pretty close to your right side, right?
You don't to take your eye off very, very long to do so.
So with Komatsu, as you're driving or you're working forward, like I said, everything's directly in front of you. Now, say you had to drive a Caterpillar, and you're driving your car and you're going straight. Imagine if you had maybe a air conditioning that was located directly above your head, to the left or to the right, just like how Caterpillar functions are.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
Now, can you see how the problems can arise when you're working directly in front of you, but you need to change an important function to the machine, and how your line of sight actually is directed away from where you're focusing?
Oh, yes.
Issues that can come up?
Yes. I mean, just like driving, you want to stay just focused to the task in front of you. So, I mean, my workers, their focus is diverted elsewhere when they're operating with this, dangerous machinery, then it could pose a potential safety problem. So, yes, I do understand that.
Yeah, so that's definitely an important issue.
But also, so I'm also concerned, though. I mean, it's great if you tell me all this. I can see the benefits so far. But I'm also worried about my workers because they've been learning on Caterpillar so long that, the Komatsu, I mean, how it's going to require them to learn a whole new system. So that's one of the things that concerns me right now.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And the great thing about Komatsu is they're one of the only manufacturers of skid loaders that have a optional operating system choice.
Okay.
Now, usually Caterpillar has ISO operating system, and you're familiar with Bobcat, which has a different operating system, right? Which is the option, right?
Oh yeah, I'll take your word for it.
Well, the thing with Komatsu is you don't have to train the workers complete from scratch. Okay, because what happens is because Komatsu, I have another picture right here. See that?
Oh, okay.
Now that picture right there is the switch that changes the operation system. So, for example, say you have one worker over here who has experience on Caterpillar. Say you have another worker over here who has experience on Bobcat. Now, obviously, you're going to have to train one of them, and they're going to have to forget what they learned, right?
Yeah, they have to adapt to the new machine.
Yeah.
Depending on what they have before.
The thing about Komatsu is you can pick, and the machines can work for the worker. So now you don't have to train the Caterpillar person. You don't have to train the Bobcat person. They can switch their operating system based on their needs.
Okay.
And that's a great feature that Komatsu has to offer the skid steer loaders.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Now, actually, when I think about it, when going back to the cost, because, right now time's tough.
Yeah.
So you told me about total cost to be about, I think we talked about the technician cost, $6,500, I believe.
Yeah.
And then the worker cost about $2,500. Now, just on this rudimentary math, right now that's about $9,000 per year, right?
Yeah.
Now, that's what it costs me right now with my cat machines. Now, how much would that cost for your machines then?
Well, it's actually not going to cost as much, okay? Now, part of the reason for that is because, number one, our technician costs are going to lower because we have a self-lubricating system.
That's true,
Everything's enclosed, no dirt, no clay. Especially with your company, we work with a lot of clay, right?
That's correct, yeah.
So because of the enclosed system, as you can see here between the wheels, everything's enclosed, nothing gets in, so therefore your servicing costs are going to lower just based off that.
And that's what costs the most is getting those technicians in.
Yeah.
So definitely, yeah.
So you're definitely going to save money off that. And again, we talked about your labor wages, how a lot of your productivity is going to increase simply because your workers aren't going to be spending that time on prepping.
Sure, yes.
And they're going to get started on their work a lot more faster.
Oh, that's right. And I mean, I'm not paying them to do all this extraneous work that they don't need to be paid. They don't get paid for that. I need to get working out there. I need to do making bucks, right? So I hear you on that one. Also, what? Actually, I had my secretary do some background checks. I always like to be prepared before I do business with my suppliers. But I just noticed that your company's moving to China. Now, with the whole pet food and toy recalls and all that, I mean, that's a big debacle right now. And I don't want to succumb my company with the reputation that China cannot make good products. So with them moving to China, how will that affect me, and how can I be assured that I will not get the shoddy product myself?
Yeah, that's a definitely a very understandable statement for you to say. I don't know if your secretary had mentioned, but actually 90% of all the products are actually put together in the United States. Now, in China, what we're doing in China is we're actually putting the individual parts together in China. In America, what we do is we put all those parts together. Okay, so in China, they're definitely going to check the individual products once.
Right.
Okay. We're going to send it over to America, where we have obviously all American workers. We're going to put all those parts together. Therefore, they get checked twice. Okay, so it's a double. We check it 2 times. Okay. Not only 2 times, but it's checked 2 times before we even put all the items together. Once the skid loader is completely assembled, as you see here, we do another check. We do tests. We do about. We definitely have our own little tests that we have on the skid loader to make sure that everything's working properly.
All right.
Okay. And not only that, and again, we're not as, to be honest with you, we're not as big as Caterpillar. Okay.
Yeah.
We're a little bit smaller, but you know what? That's where it helps you, because instead of calling your technician, call me.
Oh, I can call you directly?
Yeah.
All right. I get things done if I call you directly then?
You always get things done.
All right. That's what I like to hear, man. All right. Okay. But all right. But going back to the financials, though, I mean, right now, going recession and everything, and times are tough right now. And right now, I don't want to be releasing any funds. My cash flow is actually pretty low, and it's tough for me. So I'm kind of unsure about going through this right now. I can think about it. I can look at my overall financial standing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely understandable. Why don't I talk about a little bit more of the features that we have, and then maybe you can get a full grasp on the issue.
I thought you explained all the features, but you have more of them.
We do have, what comes standard on Komatsu is a 2-speed engine.
2-speed engine. Oh, you know what? Actually, look at this. All right, I see the features. What is it about the 2-speed engine? I mean, actually, the 2-speed engine kind of concerns me because right now with the gas prices increasing, I don't want my workers, using the second speed all the time and just burning through the gas. I'm already trying to cut costs, so that's not going to help me. At least I don't think so, unless you can explain how it will.
Well, again, Komatsu comes with 2-speed engine standard. Okay. Unlike the Caterpillars you have outside, which are 1-speed.
Sure.
Now, you can look outside and you can see like your whole site is just huge. I mean, you have Caterpillars going from point A to point B the whole day. What the 2-speed engine is going to help you do is, instead of the travel time between point A to point B to the next project, the 2-speed engine is going to help each skid loader get from that point to the next project a lot more faster. Okay? Now, instead of you're paying your employees time to travel, you're going to get to the next project a lot more faster. Therefore, it's going to start productivity a lot more faster.
Okay, so the time that they save based on the faster speed of travel will actually be better utilized by actually doing the work.
Well, yeah, I guess I could say, we could think about the gas prices are going to be used a lot more.
Sure.
You're just going to spend a little bit more on gas, but you know what? I mean, would you say like the productivity, the increase in productivity is a lot more important than the minuscule increase in gas prices?
I would say so, yeah, because I definitely need my work to be more productive. That's where I get paid.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's another issue. We also have you said you were worried about the cash flow.
Yeah, actually, let's go back to that, because, cash flow is, like I said, we're not meeting the budget as we like, so we're going to cut back as much as we can. And right now, it's not the time for me to be releasing any funds.
Okay.
It's tough, so I'd like to be able to think about this if possible.
Well, that's very honest, and I can respect that. I can see how that can be definitely a huge problem for you. But with Komatsu, we actually offer a special financing program.
Okay.
Now, what that entails is we can actually offer you, I think we talked about, as you see here, we talked about how we get technician costs, right?
Sure.
Technician costs about $6,500 right there. We also have $45,000 on worker wages, right?
Yeah.
So altogether, it's about $90,000, right? With the 5 years that you've had your Caterpillar.
All right.
So altogether, it's about, would you agree, maybe about $45,000
per year though?
per year, yeah.
Okay, all right, I can see that, yeah.
Okay, so if we go ahead and divide that by the amount of months, your current cost around about $600.
And I think we said earlier, I think each maintenance cost and the worker cost together would be around
$800, yeah. And so your cost per month, including the technician cost, along with the wages,
Okay.
about $800. Okay, now if we set up this financing program that we're talking about, 5 years, 60 months, okay, we can actually set up payments to about $600 per month, which actually helps your cash flow from actually increasing your net.
That's true. I mean, I can give you machines and make, actually gain some cash flow in the process. So I like what I'm hearing.
So would you want to sign up with your fleet for the whole fleet, or would you want to just replace the one we have on?
You know what? You've done a very good job, but I'm still a little unsure though.
Okay. All right. What would you say if I could today give you a 28% discount per machine if you replace your entire fleet?
28%? I don't think I've ever been offered 28%.
28%.
You know what? I think I just might take it then.
Sounds great. I'll need you to
Go ahead.
get you to sign over here.
Where do I sign?
Okay. Now that I think about it, do you have any friends who may benefit from the deal you just got?
Within this,
within the industry?
Oh, within my industry? Yeah, I actually have Beasley Construction across town.
Okay.
And, I'm in white clay. White clay's the best. Don't start this.
Yeah.
But, she's doing with the brown clay. Not so good. A little less quality stuff. But I think she could definitely use that type of equipment here.
Okay. Go ahead. Give me her information.
Actually, yeah, you know what? Can you pull up Beasley Construction?
Yes, definitely, right away.
All right, sounds good. All right. And we'll try to get that to you, actually, I think we can get that to you in 2 weeks, which is a lot more faster than normal.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
I think it would 2 weeks instead.